Around the world, countless people are setting out with metal detectors, diving gear, collections of historical records and modern satellite imagery to chase the same dream, to strike it rich by finding buried treasure. But they're not just a few lonely individuals on romantic searches for pirate gold or lost Spanish galleons. They're professionals, and they're part of a multi-billion-dollar industry that walks the line between museum-worthy discoveries and international crime. This industry has become so valuable that its black market alone represents up to 15% of some countries' entire GDP. How is that possible? And how does it work? Welcome to Economic View. Let's dive into the danger, black markets, and insane economics of treasure hunting. When most people think of modern-day treasure hunting, they probably imagine legendary stories like Forrest Fenn, the eccentric millionaire who buried an actual chest worth millions of dollars in the Rocky Mountains. This sent thousands of people on a decades-long search that caught global attention and even cost some people their lives. But more on that later. The truth of today's treasure hunting industry is far more complex, far less romantic, and far more lucrative than the days of Forrest Fenn. Let's break down how this fascinating industry actually works. Like most traditional economies, treasure hunting has both a legal and illegal marketplace, each with its own rules, players, and shocking financial numbers. First, let's talk about the legal side of treasure hunting. These are the people and companies doing everything by the book. Licensed salvage companies searching for shipwrecks, metal detector enthusiasts walking historical sites with proper permits, and professional prospectors panning for gold in the designated areas. Some of these descriptions probably sound like enthusiastic hobbyists, right? Think again. Even metal detector hunters see large upsides. Take Maurice Richardson, who found an Iron Age necklace called the Newark Torque in 2005. His reward? A cool £175,000, and that's just for one find. Shipwreck salvaging companies are a unionized industry force, and the International Salvage Union reported gross revenues of $241 million in 2022 from 149 finds. This is where the numbers start to get crazy, though. Mel Fisher spent 16 years and millions of dollars searching for the Spanish galleon Our Lady of Atocha. When he finally found it in 1985, the discovery yielded over $450 million worth of treasure, including 40 tons of gold and silver, 114,000 Spanish silver coins, known as pieces of 8, Colombian emeralds, and gold artifacts. The discovery was so valuable that it sparked a lengthy legal battle with the state of Florida, which Fisher eventually won, setting a precedent for future salvage operations. Robert Ballard, who found the wreck of the Titanic in 1985 after spending $10 million on the hunt. His discovery led to a massive tourism and entertainment industry boom. James Cameron's 1997 film Titanic alone grossed over $2.2 billion worldwide, while artifacts recovered from the site have sold for astronomical sums. A single menu from the Titanic's last lunch sold for $88,000 in 2012. Even today, companies offer expensive submarine tours to the wreck site, charging up to $250,000 per person for the privilege of seeing the famous ship up close. But here's where things get really interesting. Finding treasure legally is one thing, but making it profitable is a whole different story. In 2019, if you were lucky enough to find treasure worth $1 million, you'd be looking at paying around $328,000 in taxes. That's right. Even buried treasure isn't safe from the taxman. The unpredictability of finds, coupled with the heavy taxation, has hit the salvaging industry hard, with record low profits in 2024 as companies hold on to between 8 to 12% of the value of their finds. This is where some treasure hunters get creative with something called artifact loan agreements, where instead of selling their finds outright, they loan them to museums or galleries for ongoing fees. Think of it like renting out a house. The museum gets to display and study the artifact, while the hunter maintains ownership. This arrangement can help defer or reduce tax burdens because the hunters haven't technically realized the income the treasure represents directly. This can avoid 6 or even 7-figure tax bills, spreading a much smaller tax burden on the rental payments over many years. And these agreements often also include provisions for the museum to handle conservation and insurance costs, which can save thousands more in overheads. Some of the most experienced treasure hunters take this even further. By donating a portion of their ownership rights on the artifact to the museum, they can claim a charitable tax deduction while still maintaining partial ownership. This win-win ensures the museum gets to preserve and display the artifacts, the public gets to see and learn from them, and the treasure hunter gets significant tax benefits while still profiting from their discovery. If you're enjoying the video so far, please hit that like button. It helps small channels like ours bring you more fascinating stories about the hidden economies all around us. Now, let's dive into the darker side of this industry, the black market. And just like the dark web economy, which you can learn more about in our deep dive video, the black market numbers are staggering. The illegal antiquities trade is estimated to be worth billions of dollars annually. Single artifacts can fetch millions on the black market, and the entire illegal trade can represent up to 15% of GDP in countries with rich archaeological heritage, like Egypt, Greece, and Iran. That's a lot of money changing hands in the shadows. But why is the black market so prevalent? Well, one major reason is avoiding taxation altogether, but it's more than that. Some treasure hunters use cryptocurrencies for anonymous transactions, making their deals virtually untraceable, allowing them to circumvent regulations meant to protect culturally significant items and locations. This illegal trade has become so sophisticated that it's estimated that between 15 to 18% of the world's workforce are involved in black market activities. The many dangers of dealing in the illegal world of the black market, not to mention the risk of arrest and imprisonment as a result, are just a few of the dangers facing modern-day treasure hunters. Remember the forest fen treasure we mentioned earlier? At least 5 people lost their lives searching for it in dangerous terrain. For higher value finds that are sought after by illegal marketplaces, kidnapping, theft, and murder are all too common. Then you've got the legal risks: trespassing charges, damage to cultural heritage sites, and in some cases, international smuggling charges that can lead to serious prison time. Not to mention that the necessary equipment alone can cost a fortune. Professional-grade metal detectors can run into the thousands of dollars. Underwater expeditions? You're looking at millions in specialized equipment, permits, and crew costs. And of course, most treasure hunting expeditions come up empty-handed. It's a high-risk, high-reward game, but most players lose. But this industry's impact goes beyond just the treasure hunters themselves. Locations that become known for lost treasure see considerable economic booms from tourism and other activity. Take the small town of Forest, New Mexico, which saw its hotel bookings triple when rumors spread the Forest Fen's treasure might be hidden nearby. Or the Florida Keys, where Mel Fisher's discovery of the Atocha created an entire tourism industry, from museums displaying the finds to tourist boats offering trips to the general search area. Even metal detecting companies have gotten in on the action, organizing seeded hunts, where they deliberately bury valuable coins and artifacts for tourists to find, creating miniature treasure hunting festivals that can bring thousands of visitors to small towns and thousands of customers to their businesses. So this economy has far-reaching impacts. But seeing the wider benefits treasure hunting can cause brings us to perhaps the most controversial aspect of the industry, the ethical debate. And we're talking beyond the illegal marketplace debate here. Archaeologists compare proper excavation to reading a history book. It's not just about finding valuable items, but understanding their context and what they tell us about how people lived. When treasure hunters disturb an archaeological site, it's like ripping pages out of that history book forever. The scale of this problem is staggering. In Egypt alone, Over 100,000 tombs have been looted by treasure hunters, each one a time capsule of ancient medicine, technology, and social structures that we can never study again. Indigenous groups, particularly in the American Southwest, fight constantly to protect sacred burial sites from treasure hunters who see dollar signs where others see irreplaceable cultural heritage. Museums face their own challenges in this ecosystem. When a rare Viking hoard was discovered in England, the local museum had to launch a crowdfunding campaign to compete with private collectors who are offering millions. It's a growing problem. Museums struggle to compete with wealthy private collectors who can offer millions for significant finds. The question remains whether historical artifacts should be preserved for public education and research, or if it's okay for them to disappear into private collections where they might be better preserved but hidden from the world. So, what's the future of treasure hunting? With new technology making it easier to find hidden treasures, the stricter regulations making it harder to profit from them legally, the industry stands at a crossroads. There are some who have managed to strike the perfect balance between profit and historical preservation, like Fisher and Ballard, who we discussed earlier. But for every success story like theirs, there are thousands of failed expeditions, legal battles, lost fortunes, and damaged cultural heritages. The reality is that modern treasure hunting is less about luck and adventure and more about careful planning, legal navigation, and significant financial risk. So, have you ever dreamed of becoming a treasure hunter? Would you take the legal route with its heavy regulations and taxes, or be tempted by the lucrative but dangerous black market? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Economic View. It helps our channel uncover more fascinating stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.